Hey everyone, so this function is going to be accumulate, and this is the generator's problem on the final review worksheet. And so let me hide this. And so, oh, and you can ignore the hello. And so what we have here is we're gonna pass in an iterable. And then with that iterable, it might be something like a list with the elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm like going over the doc test right here. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna like keep a running total. And so we're going to have the 1, and we're going to yield the 1. So this is going to be yielded. And then we also have like a f term, and that's going to be kind of like a merger term. So like I think everyone went over like accumulate function that had like a merger term. And so f is the thing that's going to be like merging things together. And so now we want to merge 2 with the running result. And so we merge 2 into the running result. And that's adding, so we get 3 out of it, and we're going to yield that. Same with the 3. We merge that in. We get 6. We're going to yield that. 4 at the end. 10. And then 15. And so as you see right here, we end up like yielding the values 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. And yeah. So the question is, like typically in our accumulate functions, we usually have like a start term that we want to merge onto. So, but in the case of this, for example, in like addition, you might want to like start merging onto 0 and stuff like that. But in the case of this problem, we don't really have a start. And because of that, we have to like find a different like term to start off of. And so we have a for loop right here. And if we imagine, like our iterable is going to have like a ton of elements. And so our for loop is probably going to be going through like each of those elements there. And then we're going to like accumulate it on, and we're going to yield that result. So we might have like a yield somewhere in here. So that's one of the lines is going to be that. And so now what we want to do is we want to take this f. We want to determine like what value do we want to start off of. Well, since we don't really have a starting term, realize that the 1 here is being yielded because it's like not being merged onto anything. And so we can use that 1 as the first term. And so maybe these 2 lines might be for like when we're starting out with that. And so let's say term equals the first term. And so term equals the next of the iterable. So it. And notice how like right here, we created an iterator out of it, and we're supposed to use that to go over the terms. And then after that, we're going to yield that term. Actually, a more accurate term would be to use the total, because the total is like, this term should be like keeping track of the total. So let's use total. And so we yielded the first term, and now realize like for the rest of these, we need to start merging it into the total. And to get the rest of like the terms, like the 2, 3, 4, 5, we can go say for a term in it. And it is the iterator that we call next on. So notice that when we call next on this, it's going to remove the 1. So we're left with the terms 2, 3, 4, 5. That's exactly what we want because we already yielded the 1 and we just need to like yield the 2, 3, 4, 5. And so now let's like deal with like the body of the for loop. And so we have, let's say we have the term 2. And what do we want to do with that? Well, we want to merge it in with like the total that we have so far. And so we're going to say total equals, we're going to merge them together. So f is the merger function. And we're going to pass in the 2 terms, total and the term that we have. And I believe the ordering does not really matter for this problem. And then, so like you could like switch these around and it'll be the same thing. And then after that, we have like a new total. It's like after we merge these, we might have like the value 3. And then we want to yield that each time. So we're going to put yield total right here. And so we're going to go through each loop. We're going to merge in a new number. And we're going to yield that new total until we're all the way like through everything. Then we're done. Yeah, feel free to let me like email me if you have any questions. And yeah, this is Accumulate.